Welcome to the 299 News for Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. I'm Aiden.
And I'm Cole. Boys, I have breaking news. Matthew is back after a 1-week hiatus. Welcome back, Matthew.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Good.
Very.
Boys, I have even more breaking news. Sam Bankman-Fried, co-creator or creator of FTX, has been arrested in the Bahamas. Aiden, you want to explain the story a little bit further?
Yeah, so SBF, as he's most notoriously known as, he owned this thing called FTX, which is a crypto company. Now, a lot of people didn't hear about it up until recently this year, because they had a Super Bowl commercial with Larry David, and he was mocking all of those things like wheels. He was mocking the Constitution. He was mocking light bulbs even. I mean, he was mocking a bunch of everyday things, and at the end, it would be like, yeah, so this is FTX, and he'd be like, yeah, nah. And trust me, I'm right about this stuff all the time. Well, turns out he was right because FTX collapsed and filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy this past November. So now, I'm going to pull up my cheat sheet. So, a lot of people think he went to the Bahamas. Everyone I've talked to anyway. Think he went to the Bahamas because he wanted to get away on vacation. But little do people know that FTX is actually headquartered in Nassau, which is the largest city in the Bahamas.
The capital city of the Bahamas.
Correct. So, so we went there to hide from U.S. officials who, the Department of Investigation, not the Department of Investigation, the Department of Justice launched an investigation. Say that 10 times fast. They launched an investigation into FTX and their shady dealings, and they accuse him of, and I quote, manipulating the markets for two cryptocurrencies, or market rather, manipulating the market for two cryptocurrencies. That's that quote coming from the New York Times. That's what a lot of people call a market manipulation inquiry, and it's a pretty serious charge as far as I know. So, so SBF has been arrested. The U.S. hasn't requested extradition yet. However, they may do so, and if they do, the officials in the Bahamas say they will cooperate as they perform their own investigation into FTX. And with that, send it back to Cole.
Now, there's the possibility that many athletes and celebrities who advertised FTX have received lawsuits for this, such as I've heard Matt Damon and Trevor Lawrence.
As well as Larry David.
Larry David, for advertising for this, with the belief that they were supporting this, that they knew what was going on. But the reality is that people should look at is these people that are being sued also put a lot of money into this company and have lost a lot of money from this too. There's some athletes that put like 10%, 10% of their salary into this cryptocurrency, and they're just losing it like that. So I think it's unfair to judge celebrities who put their money into this and have told you to put money into it when they've also lost money and you're suing them. I mean, it's just like everything else in the stock market. I don't know if you guys have any experience in the stock market, but the number one rule I was taught was you never know what's going to happen. So it's unfair to judge them, but didn't FTX not have a CEO though? Wasn't that part of the problem as well? They never had a running CEO.
No, I think SBF was the CEO.
Okay.
And they're working with a company called Alameda Research, and that was led by Caroline Ellison recently. The previous CEO, I'll pull up his name, but he stepped down last October 2021. His name was Sam Trubaco.
Okay.
Yeah. He stepped down in October 2021. Caroline Ellison, who's good friends with SBF, took over as CEO of Alameda Research, and then all of their affiliated entities, including FTX, all fell for bankruptcy. So, yep.
Matt, you have any thoughts on this? I don't know if you're do anything with cryptocurrencies or the stock market, so I don't know if this specifically touches you at all.
I don't know anything like about cryptocurrency, but like I do have an interest in the stock market, something like that.
We're crazy, dude. Crazy. All right. How about this, boys? Earlier today, up at the time we're recording this, at about 5 o'clock on December 13th, 2022, Argentina has beaten Croatia 3-0 to go to the final of the World Cup. So they'll face either France or... One second. France or Morocco. Who's historically the first ever African country to reach the World Cup semifinals. So, Aiden, who's going to win the World Cup right now? Go.
Beats me. Argentina.
How's France doing?
Oh, they're playing Morocco tomorrow to see who will face Argentina in the final. So your options are Morocco, Argentina, or France. Argentina's in the championship.
I'm going with France.
I'm taking Argentina. I'm taking
take that
Messi.
back. I'll just go with France.
What, you guys are gonna not go for Messi? Lionel Messi?
I don't know. I don't know anything about soccer, nor do I care.
I don't either, but I know
bills to
Lionel Messi.
I heard France has the best team in the world. So
Mbappe. I think that's his name. Mbappe. He's like the best player in the world or something.
Mbappe.
Or you guys just don't care because the U.S. is out.
Yeah, I don't care. The U.S. is out.
I lost interest after Germany lost.
Germany was never in the first place. I'm pretty sure they lost every game.
Yeah.
We already talked about this on the podcast. Germany never had a chance.
And I don't. You know what? It was rigged.
He didn't even added a trombone sound effect whenever I said Germany was out.
It was rigged.
Are you just upset because Germany lost to Japan? Or the great
Wait,
World War II rivals?
Did they actually?
I don't know. Let me pull up who Germany's lost to. I'm pretty sure they lost to everybody.
Yeah, Germany didn't do good. Very well.
Germany, let's see. Lost to Costa Rica. Ugh. Tied with Spain and lost to Japan.
Yeah, oh yeah. I was.
Imagine losing to Costa Rica.
Yeah, at my school, they put all the dorm kids. A lot of them are foreign exchange students from Spain and Germany, and they put during the game versus Germany and Spain. They divided the group: the Spanish kids and the German kids. And what I heard, I wasn't there, but what I heard is that it got like tense. There was yelling.
I mean, there's a soccer track outside, right? So they could just go.
Yeah, right outside. Right outside the dorms is the turf field. Yeah.
There's very few people at my school that even care anymore
About
the World Cup.
Oh.
Now that the U.S. is out, many fans have probably just stopped watching.
Probably.
Also with England out too. You lost all your British viewers too.
Yeah.
It's kind of thing with Americans is that they don't really care unless the United States is involved.
Yeah.
In some way. Pretty much.
It's exactly like that.
We're so patriotic that we don't care about anything else except our own country.
Yep. America.
America first.
Alright, well it's time to move on to our weekly insults of Twitter.
And Elon
Aiden?
Musk.
And Elon Musk. Aiden, what do you have for us today?
What do I have?
Yes.
What does Dave Chapelle have?
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the richest man in the world.
No. Oh no.
We should probably redo that segment.
It's time now for our weekly insults of Elon Musk and Twitter. Aiden, what do you have for us this week?
So we all know about Dave Chapelle, right? He's the comedian.
No.
Okay.
No.
Why do you...
What do you have about Elon Musk?
Okay, story time, kids. So, Dave Chapelle was in San Francisco, and he was doing a show, obviously, stand-up show. You know, telling
Really?
jokes. Yeah, that's what comedians do, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, he decided to have a little fun, as usual, because it's Dave Chapelle. If you know him, he likes to push the limits sometimes. And he had Elon Musk on. He told everyone, "Hey everybody, I've got the world's richest man here." And Elon Musk comes, and at first there was a lot of cheering. Then there was some booing. Now, Elon Musk says that it was 90% cheers, 10% boos. But either way, Dave Chapelle could agree with the audience on one thing.
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience.
Either that, or it was a bunch of iPhone users that have to pay an extra $4 more a month for Twitter Blue. Because Apple...
Epic gamer moments.
Yes, because Apple takes a 30% commission out of all in-app purchases. 30% of the revenue goes to Apple, 70% of the revenue goes to the app developer.
Alright, well, moving on from Elon Musk, now that we've made fun of him for a couple minutes. Probably more than that.
Yeah.
I want to get your... Matt, actually, I want to get your thoughts on this. The president of Peru this week has been arrested and impeached. He said for trying to get rid of Congress completely in Peru, and for trying to declare a national state of emergency after trying to get rid of Peru, the Congress. He said, and I quote, "I am unconditionally faithful to the popular and constitutional mandate that I hold as president, and I will not resign or abandon my high and sacred functions." And he's also claimed that he has been kidnapped as well as humiliated and mistreated, according to CNN. That the person who replaced him has claimed that he was kidnapped, humiliated, and mistreated. They've already got a replacement for him, named So yes. So he's been impeached for trying to get rid of Congress. He's claimed that he's not going to resign and that he's been mistreated, kidnapped, and humiliated by Peru.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's insane.
He said it sounds like
sounds like some other guy we know.
Yeah, what's ironic is that the public supports him, but it's not. And so I have to. I just read only. Yeah, it's literally it's conflicting. But maybe it's like the same situation we had with Trump, where there's a group of people who like him and those who don't. You know?
Yeah.
It could be like that.
I don't know. It's weird. It feels different though, since he's like physically in jail right now as we speak.
Yeah.
He's like in a prison cell. Trump probably was not in a prison cell during his impeachment trials.
Do you know why he was impeached?
For trying to get rid of Congress. Trying to get rid of it completely.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, that's That's a
pretty
very
extreme.
bad. That's very extreme. That's a very bad sign, and I just don't see like why some like someone who wanted to get rid of Congress kind of you're only like you're that bridge that allows the voices of the public is want that to take that bridge away. I just don't understand why you would support someone like that. But maybe it's kind of like your support. This guy is this leader to them. Looks like someone who for like with hope, for reform or improvement in their own in their country.
Because Peru is a third world country.
Yeah.
Many people don't. It's a third world country. Many countries in South America are third world countries, except for like Argentina and Brazil, and that's about it. Aiden, you have any thoughts you want to share?
Are we a third world country?
Yeah.
Yes.
Good to know. Because it sounds an awful lot like what's going on here.
Tech news of the week: nuclear fission. So, recently, scientists from the United States have now. I don't think they discovered it. This has been kind of like a thing for a little while, nuclear fission. But maybe it was nuclear. Maybe I'm getting confused with nuclear fusion. I don't know.
Oh boy.
But this is from what I've heard, is a huge leap in renewable energy, which is really exciting. In my opinion, it's really exciting because it pushes us to new opportunities in technology and cleaner energy sources. So that gives us hope for a better future, and will divert the chance of like an apocalypse because of global warming. But the only issue I have with it is that the radiative waste that it creates. Is kind of like a kind of a worry that I have about it.
You're talking about it'll be just fine for the fish.
I'm just like, in general, this thing, like, think about Chernobyl. What happened with that? One of these things, if this like one of those like nuclear fusion or fission, I don't know what they're called. One of these plants, they would like fails or something happens, a whole bunch of radiation is going to be released and create like, I don't know, destroy a bunch of land. That is just the worry I have. I'm not saying that it's a terrible idea, but I think there should be precautions made so stuff like that doesn't happen, like safety stuff. And they probably will. But it's just it's really cool. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in other news,
What was that silence for a few seconds? Pause.
Hey Matt, I got something I want to show you.
What? I can't see you. You seem to have a hard time remembering that.
oh my god. Meanwhile, in other news, 2G and 3G phones are being shut down at the end of December if you're on the Verizon wireless network. T-Mobile has already shut down their 2G, 3G networks in July, and AT&T's began shutting down their 3G networks in February and shut down their 2G networks at the end of 2016. Other smaller carriers such as USA and Altel have their own roadmaps for their 2G and 3G shutdowns. More can be learned about through them. And with that, we now turn to today's historical topic with Cole. Cole?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, people. So I'd like to introduce our topic of this week. Going back to finishing talking about last week's topic and recapping that World War II ended with Japan ending their war in China and Russia and America both reaching Berlin and causing the collapse of Germany. Uh, what we kind of hinted, what Drew and I hinted at the end of last episode was the Chinese Civil War, which we kind of maybe talked about a little bit, but not enough to where you understand it. To where you'd understand it. So I think that's what we're gonna cover here for like the next 10 minutes. The Chinese Civil War. It's not gonna take really long, honestly. Matt, do you want to start us off about the beginning of the Chinese Civil War? About
Sure.
like what it was?
Okay, so I can't remember any specific dates, but the overall like reason.
Here, I can pull up when it started for you.
Yeah. Thank you. And tell me, so because I can't. Yeah.
The Chinese Civil War started in early August of
1927.
1927.
Yep. And then it ended in 1949.
It's a whole 22 years.
Pretty much. So it was.
You gotta remember, yeah, but Aiden, you gotta remember, it took a pause during World War II.
Right.
Yeah.
Aside
Nothing
from the
happened
pause,
during
it
World
was over the course of 22 years.
So it was a conflict. So the war. It was a conflict between.
Really, it was a conflict.
I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna. It was a conflict between the nationalists and the communists.
And they wanted to punch each other.
Pretty much, they hate each other
did.
a lot.
But they didn't want to punch each other and cause a nuclear war, though. That's kind of the Cold War in general, but not really the Chinese Civil War.
And fighting continued all the way to like 1937 when the I think it was like the Sino-Japanese War.
Second Sino-Japanese
Second Sino-Japanese War when they invaded Manchuria, and when that happened, the communist and nationalists set aside their differences and united to fight against Japan. But soon that was during World War II, and once that was the Second World War was over, the China went right back to fighting to the Civil War. It's kind of like the basics of it.
So I have a question. So
yeah,
World War II started in the late 1930s, right? It was like 1930.
39 is
39.
Yeah, but
it says on here they ended in 1937.
Right, which is what Matt just said, because when Japan invaded China.
Yeah, because the war between China and Japan lasted 2 years before
World War II.
World War II.
It's kind of like Aiden. Remember before we even talked about Poland, how Germany was using their blitzkrieg tactics to take over a bunch of other countries, but they never started the Second World War. This is a similar thing. Japan invades China, but it doesn't cause the Second World War. But it's large enough to where China and the communists and the Democrats put aside their differences to create the Chinese United Front.
That's what it was called. Chinese United Front.
Yes, the Chinese United Front.
Yeah.
Our boy Mao. Mao.
Oh my god. Last year in my world studies class, Tristan and I made so much jokes about Mao Zedong.
Mao.
In
freshman year, everybody would go around calling him, I gotta appease Daddy Mao.
That is disgusting.
We're recording now, but that's fine.
My cat doesn't go meow. It goes Mao.
Mao. Mao. Communist cats do.
Mao Zedong.
So basically, after all of the years of fighting, the main point is that the communists end up winning. Is the real major point. But here's the part that confuses everybody: is that the Democratic side flees to Taiwan.
Yeah,
which is still a conflict to this day. Mm-hmm. But it was agreed upon that they would be able to stay on that island. And they would be able to live as a democratic China. But that is clearly not going really well.
Yeah, there's Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Your point was so important.
there is contempt between China and Taiwan about China believes that Taiwan is a part of Chinese territory. Taiwan says they're independent. So there's major tension between the two countries, and pretty much just after the end of the Chinese Civil War, the nationalists fled to Taiwan and they settled there, and that's where it's been ever since. And this what's interesting is that the Chinese Civil War led partially to the Korean War. China supported I can't know where to start. Do you want to begin with the Korean War?
What the Chinese supported the communist and
how it started, who was
Kim Il Sung?
How did it start? Was Korea one country on the peninsula, or was it just?
No, they are not united.
Okay.
They are not united. There is a north and a south, separated by the 38th parallel.
That was okay.
Which is a very famous
was
line.
that in 1945?
What?
When Korea broke up, was that in 1945?
Korea wasn't a country by itself before then. It was owned by Japan.
Oh yeah, it was occupied by Japan, and then it was occupied by the Soviet Union when.
And then the South was occupied by the U.S.
Oh, so. Okay.
So the Soviets are going to put Kim Il Sung, a communist dictator, as the leader of North Korea, who's also supported by Mao. Mao wins the Chinese Civil War, while the South is still being supported by the U.S. and the democratic nations of the world. By the way, interesting fact: Emperor Hirohito of Japan actually stayed the leader of Japan after World War II. Fascist emperor. If you didn't know, he actually stayed leader.
That's
the only
surprising.
Axis leader that wasn't killed, basically.
That's super surprising.
I think he was emperor till 89.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Did they refer to him as emperor after the Second World War?
I think so. Let me look.
Oh.
Until his death in 1989. Yeah, he was emperor all the way until he died in 1989. What a cool guy. But, I know this week's history topic wasn't as long, but that's copping into the Korean War, and that's gonna be a long topic just on its own, dedicated for its own week. So I think this is a good spot to end. Wants to do the end whatever end thingy scripts.
You can
Say goodbye to everybody, kinda bye, get out of here, kind of thing.
Adios.
We'll see you next week with continuation of the Korean War.
Hey Matt, before the viewers click off, I want to show you something.
Can't see you.